Why aren't you as wealthy as you should be? It may be because of the way you operate your household. Would a business, especially a very productive one, ever hire a key employee without doing a serious background check and an in-depth interview? No. Yet most people, even those with high incomes, hire financial advisors after obtaining little or no background information about these employment candidates. Some high-income people have responded to our views on this topic by stating, "But I'm not hiring an employee, I am just doing some investing with the fellow who called on me." Our response to such statements is simple. Operate your household like a productive business. The best businesses hire the best people. They also patronize the best suppliers. Utilizing the best human resources and top suppliers are two major reasons the most productive organizations succeed while others fail. You should view all financial advisors who solicit you as a client merely as applicants. View them as prospective employees or suppliers for your household. Then ask yourself some simple questions. What criteria would a productive personnel manager use in evaluating each of these applicants? Would a skilled purchasing agent and/or a chief financial officer of an organization buy investment information and products from this potential supplier? What criteria, what key pieces of background information would be used to evaluate potential suppliers? Before a well-run business would ever hire a financial advisor or a supplier of investment intellect, it would insist on many vital pieces of hard copy, including the following: plus several references, plus an official college transcript, plus a credit check, plus a series of personal interviews, plus completion of a detailed employment application, plus documents attesting to the ability of the applicant to perform the duties and tasks required. Your ability to hire high-grade financial advisors is directly related to your propensity to accumulate wealth. This, in turn, relates to one of the fundamental reasons business owners outpace all other occupational categories in accumulating wealth. Most high-income business owners have more experience in evaluating potential suppliers, employee applicants, and human resources in general than do individuals in other occupational groups. Being in business requires the constant evaluation of such resources. The Martin method. Several years ago, we had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Martin, a very astute investor and a self-made millionaire. Mr. Martin participated in a focus group interview we conducted with 8 multi-millionaires. To be included in the group, respondents had to have a net worth of $5 million or more. Building a net worth of $5 million or more in one generation is quite an accomplishment. But Mr. Martin is rare even within this category, since he never had an earned annual income from employment of more than $75,000. How did Mr. Martin become so wealthy? He is one of the best investors we have ever interviewed. Mr. Martin made his fortune via the stock market. We found him to be extremely bright and well-informed about various investments. He is also an excellent judge of investment advisors. As you may expect, Mr. Martin subscribes to a wide variety of investment-related publications. Several of these sell their mailing lists to brokers. Thousands of financial advisors have access to Mr. Martin's address and telephone number. Mr. Martin estimates that each week at least 3 or 4 brokers attempt to solicit his investment dollars via cold calls. How does Mr. Martin deal with these callers? He instructs his secretary to follow the Martin method, which is used to debrief all callers. What is the Martin method? Here's what he told us during the interview. I am a businessman who goes out and tests people. Brokers call me a lot. They say I have a great deal of experience in Wall Street's best offerings. I have a fantastic track record of making money for my clients. One always say, "Do you have some good investment ideas for me?" Really good. He says, "Absolutely, especially if you're willing to make trades in your portfolio. I only handle Accounts with a minimum of $200,000. Then I tell him, so you're really good. Well, I'll tell you. What? Send me a copy of your personal income tax returns from the last few years and a list of what you have had in your own portfolio for the past 3 years. You made more money than I did from investments I'll invest with you. Here's my address. When they say, we can't show that to you, I tell them, you are likely to be full of baloney. This is my strategy for checking people out. It works. Check them all out this way. I mean it very honestly. Perhaps you're asking yourself how Mr. Martin finds time to evaluate all those stacks of credentials he receives from cold callers. During the many years Mr. Martin has been an active investor, he has received countless telephone solicitations. How many of these solicitors applied for the job as financial advisor to the Martin household by submitting their credentials? 0. Not one of the dozens of cold callers submitted his income and wealth appreciation data to Mr. Martin. According to Mr. Martin, if these guys were really good, they would not spend all their time calling me. Well, fair enough, Mr. Martin. But not everyone in America has your investment intellect, income, and net worth. Many people would be better off financially if they used the services of a financial advisor, even one who cold called them, for the simple reason that most financial advisors are significantly more knowledgeable about investing than the average high-income UAW. How one comes into contact with one's financial advisor is a core late of wealth appreciation. How did Mr. Martin come into contact with his? Like the majority of PAWs, he used interpersonal communication. Early in his career, he asked his accountant for a referral to a quality financial advisor. The accountant provided the names of several such advisors. Mr. Martin also asked for referrals from those of the accountant's clients whose investments always seemed to do well. Mr. Martin has patronized several financial advisors since first being introduced via his accountant. He also relies on others for investment advice, including his attorney and CPA. Mr. Martin always felt his financial advisors were credible sources of investment wisdom because all were endorsed by his CPA and/or his CPA's most successful investors. Also, Mr. Martin reasoned quite correctly that these financial advisors would treat him as a special client. And indeed, they went out of their way to provide him with good advice and timely forecasts. Why? To do otherwise would jeopardize their relationships with their referral network. What would Mr. Martin do if his advisors provided him with poor service and low-quality advice? He would complain to the CPA who endorsed these people. The CPA would not enjoy losing Mr. Martin as a client and would likely cast these advisors out of his referral network. No financial advisor would enjoy being fired in this way. Even better-grade advisors seem to turn up their level of service for members of important referral networks. What is to be learned from this case scenario? Choose a financial advisor who is endorsed by an enlightened accountant and/or his clients with investment portfolios that in the long run outpace the market. If you don't have an accountant, hire one. Another correlate of wealth accumulation is employment of a CPA, not just to do taxes, but also to provide various kinds of investment advice. To find a high-quality accountant, ask friends or associates who fit the PAW profile. You may wish to call the accounting department at your state's university. Speak with several accounting faculty. Ask them for the names of their former students who have established track records in helping clients make enlightened financial decisions. Another method is to call the local offices of national accounting firms, which are often very selective in their hiring. Even large firms have many smaller accounting/financial planning clients. We selected our CPAs based on 2 criteria. First, the CPAs were recommended by professors of accounting. Second, the CPAs were initially hired out of college by major accounting firms and later started their own successful accounting firms. We find that many of the very best CPAs and financial planners follow this career path. Some CPAs are better than others at helping clients accumulate wealth. Interview several. Choose the one who has the highest concentration of PAWS as clients. You may have to explain the concept to them. YOUARENTWHATYOUDRIVE. They believe that financial independence is more important than displaying high social status. Mr. W. Allan is a self-made multimillionaire. He and his wife have lived in the same three-bedroom house in the same middle-class neighborhood for nearly 40 years. Mr. Allan owns and manages 2 manufacturing businesses in the Midwest. During his entire married life, he has owned only full-sized General Motors sedans. He will tell you that he never burdened himself with status vehicles or products of any kind. Mr. Allan's businesses, as well as his household, are highly efficient operations. The productivity of his businesses, coupled with his household's moderate consumption habits, produced many surplus dollars. These, in turn, were reinvested in his businesses, commercial real estate, and the common stocks of a variety of high-quality American corporations. Mr. Allan is what we call a super PW. His net worth exceeds the expected value for people in his income/age category by more than tenfold. During the course of his career, Mr. Allan has helped many other entrepreneurs. He has acted as a mentor to dozens of business owners and has saved many businesses from going under by giving financial assistance to struggling entrepreneurs. But he never extended credit to people who exhibited the big hat no cattle philosophy. In his mind, such people would never be able to repay their debts. These types, according to Mr. Allan, spend in anticipation of having money before they even earn it. Mr. Allan, as well as those people whom he has backed financially, have never felt that their purpose in life was to look wealthy. Mr. Allan, that's why I'm financially independent. If your goal is to become financially secure, you'll likely attain it. But if your motive is to make money to spend money on the good life, you're never gonna make it. Many people who never achieve financial independence have a much different set of beliefs. When we ask them about their motives, they speak in terms of work and career. But ask them why they work so hard, why they selected the careers they did, and their answers are much different from Mr. Allan's. They are UAWs and UAWs ESP. Silently high-income producers work to spend, not to achieve or become financially independent. UAWs view life as a series of trade-ups from one level of luxury to the next. So who enjoys working? Who really gets satisfaction from their careers, PAWS or UAWs? In most of the cases we have examined, PAWS love working while a large proportion of UAWs work because they need to support their conspicuous consumption habit. Such people and their motives offend Mr. Allan. He stated numerous times, money should never change one's values. Making money is only a report card. It's a way to tell how you're doing. No Rolls-Royce, please. Mr. Allan is extremely perceptive in his understanding of accumulators of wealth. In essence, he feels that products change people. If you acquire one status product, you will likely have to purchase others to fill up this socially conspicuous puzzle. Before long, your entire lifestyle will have changed.